Okay, I'm here with Yoon, and he is working on his portfolio. And so as a part of that, we thought we could do a tutorial on how to do Yale binding. And Yale binding, we think the name comes from the fact that it was invented at the Yale School of Graphic Design, which is a great design school. And you'll see when we get finished here, what's really amazing about Yale binding is that it makes, it's a beautiful way to sort of do a book that has spreads in it. And you'll see why that is when we get to the end. So Yoon has given us the pages of his portfolio, some of the pages at the beginning of his portfolio. And you'll see that they are spreads, and they're printed on one side and blank on the other side. All right? So this is going to be eventually a spread in the book. And we're going to start by taking all of these and folding them in half. And the things that you're going to want to have when you start are your spreads, printed spreads. You're going to want to have a brayer, which is this, and this roller, and some spray adhesive, and then some newspaper that you can use to protect the surfaces as you're spray adhesiving. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our spreads in order, and I'm actually going to start with a blank page as a kind of almost like a title page or end sheet, and I'm going to fold them onto themselves. So like this, and then I'm going to roll it, put it to the side. Now I can actually take like about 3 at a time and do this. And I fold them inward on themselves. And this roller is really great because it takes all the strength of your arm and all that pressure and isolates it into one tiny line. So it kind of turns your arm into a super arm. And you get a really nice crisp fold. Okay, so we have all our spreads folded. And now we're going to separate them out in order. The nice thing about this method too is if you decide you want to change the order of your book pages after you've printed it, it's no problem. You can just reshuffle in the new order. Okay, now we're ready for the assembly. So we are going to take our first 2 spreads. First one, and on the back of that, we're going to spray adhesive it. Actually, here, I should have done this. I'm going to spray adhesive the backs of both of those together, okay? Then I'm going to put this down. And I like to have the fold at the top because it allows you to then align the things really carefully when you laminate them together. So I put one corner down, get that in a row, then I twist this until it looks straight, and then match it up to the other corner, drop it down, and then super roller comes in again, and we do this. And if you don't use a roller, I mean, I've seen students who can't afford one do that with a can. That's possible too. If you don't use a roller or something like that, your book will last a few weeks. If you use the roller, it'll last years. So it makes a big difference. Okay, so I have my first 2 spreads. I'm going to put those to the side. I'm not going to add a third one to that pile. And this is really important. I'm going to take the next pair and I'm going to spray both of them. And the reason that I'm doing this in sets of pairs rather than just adding them one on top of another, on top of another, on top of another, is because the book then tends to creep and the pages don't align. So one corner down, match it to the other corner, drop it, roll. And then put it on our pile. And another pair. So forth. Okay. Another pair, and actually I'm just going to do this much of the book as if this was the whole book. I'll put these aside for now. Okay, so now I have 4 pairs of spreads. I'm going to take them over, flip them back to the beginning, and I'm going to take the pairs of spreads, all right, and put them together. And spray adhesing on both surfaces is really important. Like I almost forgot to do that at the beginning of the tutorial, but yeah. Roll, put that to the side, and pairs of pairs. And then this very satisfying point comes when you have your last two halves of the book, and sometimes they're, it's quite thick, and you get to put those together, and then your book has become one. So that's the point we're at right now. So we are going to connect this to this. And actually, I always check. I'd be going more slowly if I was doing this on my own. Check to make sure up is up, and that I'm not twisting the book or getting something mixed up. Okay, up is up. And I'm going to put these together. Okay, and finally, the book is done. And keep going here though. So now I'm going to show you the book. We have our blank title page, and now we turn. And this is what's so great about this book. I can lay it on the flat on the table, and it lays perfectly flat. There's no gutter, so that there's no distortion to this image. See, it just worked so fantastically for full spreads. And you'll see that Yoon actually wanted this proportion for his book. And this is the other critical thing. You never want to make the book want to be this size when it's finished. You always want to allow room for a trim. And the best thing you can do is take this book now to a professional printer or a media center or something where they have a big cutter, guillotine cutter, and you mark the 3 sides you want to have cut, and you have it trimmed like that. And the book will just be perfectly aligned on all those edges. And it also does away with the fact, like, this book is sticking, the pages stick to each other a little bit because of the overspray. It gets rid of all that, and it makes a really clean edge. Okay, so that's our tutorial on Yale binding. Thank you.